I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Sunny Hostin has been making headlines after she said things about the former First Lady, Melania. But that was not her only stupidity. We all know her because she has never been shy about expressing her opinion, not just on ideas or concepts, but on people. Let it be Donald Trump or Elon Musk or Kanye West. She has gone after all the big personalities, but this one is different.
And I've read your book twice because I wanted to give it a chance. Your argument that race has no place in that equation is really fundamentally flawed, in my opinion.
That was something, right? I watched it, and honestly, it felt more like a showdown than an interview. Sunny really went after him, questioning his views on race, and even suggesting he was being used as a pawn by conservatives. But did she stop there? Nope. She even called him a conservative.
Right, and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you...
He's never voted for a Republican.
You've said that you're a conservative.
No.
No, you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes, you did.
I know I had to rewind the video twice to think, whoa, did she just say that? Now, according to her, she had read his book twice, but the book only came out in February, so I think the chances of that are very low. While on the show things got intense, Coleman didn't hold back after the show either. He mentioned that Sunny seemed uninformed about his positions and misrepresented his political stance, but he was far from over. You can imagine if someone calls you out on your beliefs and puts their beliefs in your mouth, how frustrating that could be. But Sunny kept being aggressive without giving Coleman a fair chance to explain himself.
Coleman's whole thing on the issues of race are more like you, Camille, like colorblind. Like, stop, I'm not all about my race. Stop making my race so important. Like, what matters is character and values and so on. Well, the ladies of The View didn't much like that, especially Sunny Hostin.
After that heated exchange on The View, Coleman didn't just sit back. He appeared on various platforms to share his side of the story. And honestly, he didn't pull any punches.
And it's hard for me to totally tell, but I've just got people messaging me almost nonstop for like 4 days afterwards.
On Rogan's show, Coleman recounted his experience at The View, saying how he was surprised at the confrontational nature of the interview. And listening to his side of the story, I thought, man, he really felt blindsided. And that's not only him. Despite the tension, the audience seemed to resonate with his perspective, which says a lot about how viewers perceive the interaction. But he didn't stop there. Coleman appeared on other platforms, clarifying his viewpoints, which I think was clear that he wanted to set the record straight and ensure his message wasn't overshadowed by the drama. But the same reaction was of the other interviewers, like Joe Rogan. The guy didn't hold back his criticism of The View and described it as a rabies-infested henhouse.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies-infested henhouse.
On a recent episode of his podcast, Rogan mocked Sunny Hostin. He straight up called the show an ideological bubble, saying they operate in a very specific space where only one narrative is really welcome. And after seeing her treat Coleman like that, I think he's not wrong. If you've ever watched The View, you've probably noticed that anytime a conservative guest comes on, they don't exactly get a warm welcome. Joe pointed out how the show always brings on a token conservative woman. But instead of actually having a debate, they just yell over her and shut her down. Like how they treated Meghan McCain, who was constantly getting cut off and dismissed whenever she tried to make a point. It's more like an echo chamber where certain opinions are welcome, and others are treated like an enemy invasion. And that's exactly what they did with Coleman.
Jamie, she was always yelling. I mean, it's a bizarre show.
Joe, although didn't stop there. He highlighted the irony of her husband's legal issues, given her outspoken views on ethics and integrity. He pointed out what he sees as hypocrisy, noting that while Sunny often critiques others, her own household is now under examination. Rogan's comments have since gone viral, sparking debates across social media platforms. But what's the actual fuss about her husband? The reality is her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, got hit with a big lawsuit in December 2024. And not just any lawsuit, this one says he was involved in a massive fraud scheme that's been going on for years. We're talking about 2009, but that's what has surfaced for now. Apparently, the lawsuit claims that some medical centers in New York were scamming insurance companies. They would send injured people to certain doctors, including Sonny's husband, and then those doctors would fake medical treatments just to bill the insurance companies for more money. And Dr. Hostin was getting secret payments disguised as bonuses, or dividends. Sounds shady, huh?
Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Of course, Sonny completely denies everything. She went all out defending her husband, saying this is just a bogus lawsuit made up by greedy insurance companies who don't want to pay doctors fairly. She even called it a smear campaign, basically saying they're trying to ruin her family's reputation for no reason. What I see it as is karma. I mean, she had it coming. First her statements about Melania, and now this. And most importantly, was she involved in any of this? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for now, everyone is denying the lawsuit completely. According to them, it's just meant to scare doctors into not asking for their rightful payments. And Sonny and her husband aren't just sitting back. They're thinking about suing back for $5 million, saying this whole thing has hurt their family and reputation.
No, I think that it's very helpful that he's handy, and when we travel, I'm not picking up any bags. He's the one that's hefting them overhead. He
Exactly.
throws the garbage out.
Right.
He does the heavy stuff.
The media hypocrisy is on the top of it, but it's not all bad. Some folks are standing by Sonny Hostin, saying this lawsuit against her husband is just a cheap attack meant to drag her down. Basically, they see this as a hit job on her family. But then, there's the other side. The people who are fully backing Joe Rogan and saying, see? This is exactly why no one takes The View seriously. They feel like Sonny is getting a taste of her own medicine because she's spent years calling out others for scandals. But now that it's her own husband in the hot seat, she's trying to downplay the whole thing. And, yeah, that's where the word hypocrisy keeps coming up. News outlets ran with this story, giving it massive attention. If this were a conservative politician or celebrity, wouldn't The View have been way harsher? Think about it. When someone from the right is accused of something shady, they get ripped apart on the show. No one holds back. But now, Sonny's co-hosts are suspiciously quiet. Where's that same energy?
You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit. He had no political experience whatsoever. He had no business experience. He was given everything.
And that's the bigger debate here. Is the media playing favorites? Are certain people given a pass, while others get completely destroyed? Because if The View were really about accountability, shouldn't they be calling out one of their own just like they do with everyone else? What's gonna happen next? It all depends on the results. This whole situation with Sonny Hostin, her husband's fraud case, and Joe Rogan's takedown has blown up into something much bigger than just a legal drama. It's got people asking some big questions like, when the media goes after people for scandals, are they really being fair and balanced? Or do they pick and choose who they want to protect? One thing's for sure, this isn't over yet. The legal case is still ongoing, and I'm not sure how many surprises are left. If Dr. Hostin loses this case, it could ruin his medical career, and Sonny's reputation might take a hit too. I'll be keeping an eye on this one because, honestly, it's way too messy to ignore.